Hello, I'm Serena, and I am a spiritual servant and a spiritual counselor and a healing arts practitioner, and I speak what I call HeartLite Soul Language. Some people call it a Galactic Language, or they may call it an ET language, or an Angelic Language, or Light Language. When I first started speaking it in October of 2011, there was hardly any information out about it. There were only 2 people that I was able to connect with who had any sense of what this might be that I was speaking. One was Tom Kenyon, who's a pretty well-known sound healer, and the other was Mary Rodwell in Australia, who's been researching what she calls ET language for quite some time. There were only 2 videos on YouTube about the language at that time, and now more and more people have awakened, and there's more and more soul language, heart language, galactic language, light language, ET language out there. My sense of it is that more and more of us are needed to share this language to bring us back all into unity again, which we were at some point in our histories. That's what the Tower of Babel story in the Bible is all about, before, when everyone spoke the same language. In fact, they found different artifacts all over the world that have an ancient language of symbols, and they date back further than the currently known civilizations and their alphabet or their language and writing. And so that's pretty interesting. There's a lot to be learned yet. I have a lot to learn. I'm not exactly sure which all languages I speak. I'm finding out that I speak more than one in a combination. But what I'm filming today about is I have been asking Source and the universes to help me to begin to write in the language. And I've been asking for just a few days. Things manifest pretty quickly for me these days. Today, I felt called to pick up my journal. It's a journal that came to me 4 or 5 years ago. A beautiful journal maker, Vanessa, and I can give you her information later, was selling these at a spiritual conference in Illinois. They were all so beautiful, but as I went across the table and felt the energy of them, none of the ones that were on the table were for me. So I said I'd come back. I said they were beautiful, and as I was walking away, I felt a pull, and I said, "You have some journals behind the table." And she said, "Yes, I do." I said, "Mine's in that stack right there." And so I pulled out this one, and they're all covered like this, handmade by her grandfather. The paper's handmade by her grandfather. And when I opened it, I was like, "Oh yes, it's mine, absolutely. It's purple." And it has this beautiful engraving on the front. Significant for me because the Holy Spirit, the dove, was very significant about when I had my spiritual awakening in 1991. And then there are roses, which you can just barely see throughout. And I've known that I'm a daughter of the rose, which is a strong connection to Mother Mary and to Mary Magdalene. In many lifetimes I have been connected to that, and I come down through a lineage in my soul life. So this is actually a very powerful journal, and when I take it out of that cover, I can feel the energy of it, and it feels great. It's so loving. It's very powerful. So this is actually a portal. So I've saved this journal because it was so beautiful and had all this handmade paper in it, and I've never written in it. But today I felt called to write in it. And so I asked about writing the language. I placed my ego aside and I asked to be filled with love and light, and I just put my pen to the paper. And in doing so, this is what came forward. I hope you can see it. I'm going to hold it up in sections. I'm going to stand up, I think. I'll get a better view. Now to some it may look like scribbles, but my mind had nothing to do with it. My mind was pretty blank, which it can be at times, on purpose. So I wanted to share that with you. And if there's anyone who has been writing the language, I would sure like to have some feedback about that. While I'm videotaping, I believe I'm going to share some soul language with you. So open your hearts. And we know that only light and love is here with us, in us, and through us. And for that we are ever grateful. And so it is. Akisi umoko embisibo askine muta la zekine muta askine muta skele prokonda si shu la senda a moko tutelena uskut boka a ensibulika eskoshkotonda elena on di siti tetene mokatane sitata onkatete patkanda emikuto okand anda skit ook on die boek asketa aketa ikilo ust siliba me kisiti get nuduko ezitun delicata du shiboko ontile amo sit on de se kotan skita pant it's cute ibitoro andele mokotoske tenimux force esimo koso weselina nana sigelele kato gerbint omblo akede emuskelo unde hekedes gut pata enifus huska haskelena haskeriane skudo bokoto linda hosta hoa esinimu katan de let de moka ashulon le sete poto suvo es que le ponga anka pa to de que tant sikiri puto kolende disipo e moka pok de nekta lata hoş gelene moka es gelene moka ay shilena. And so it is. Thank you for spending time with me, and I wish you all peace and most of all love.